Hello traders and welcome to another technical analysis video brought to you by Orbex.com. You are now surfing the waves with Richard. Today is the 29th of May, 3:23 p.m. Eastern European Standard Time, and I'm on the dollar index once more on the daily chart. And what I wanted to share with you today is basically the fact that it is located at a possible double top from basically, let's say, 27th of October high before the downtrend actually started on this wave 2 minute red on December 12th Federal Reserve meeting on the actual downtrend. So what it did in the meantime, it made a corrective piece with an AB and then a five-wave sequence in the C leg. And as you may have noticed, I'm labeling this rise as a possible A, and I would be expecting a corrective piece right here for this intermediate B turquoise for the obviously for the correction, yeah. After which, of course, if that turns out to be true, then the dollar could indeed have a bullish rally. However, if the if this piece starts with a five-wave sequence right here, then I would be switching towards this type of wave count. So instead of A, I would have a 4 here. So basically more downside, possibly tagging a lower low, right? However, the way this structure looks, it could be valid the way it's shown right now with an A right here. Okay, so the way I'm labeling it is as an A, B, and then a five-wave sequence for the C, thus for the intermediate C, so intermediate A, B, C turquoise, and basically finalizing A primary scale blue. All right. So let me basically shrink it down right here. So if I go on the 2-hour chart on the dollar index, now previously what I did was with the previous video which I've done, let's say for instance on May 21st. On May 21st, yeah. This video was actually posted at those, as the title says, Market Juncture Crucial USD Decision, yeah. And let me make sure it's mute. Yeah, let me just play this video, and as you guys can actually see right here, I was on the XAU USD on gold, explaining a possible rise in gold, yeah, because it was indeed at the strong support at 1285. Now on silver right here, I mean silver is different, so let's say for instance I'm gonna go and update this. It is indeed quite tricky, but here's something interesting on crude oil, right? Here um, I was explaining a possible drop coming in the C leg, right? As per this arrow right here. Okay, so this is basically what I was explaining on this on the crude oil on WTI. Now, next, um, let's see. Yeah, on the euro, I was actually, because I was expecting euro to possibly bounce, right? But however, it went a bit lower, so it didn't rise. Then I'm gonna um, brief it up now. On the pound dollar, same thing as the euro. Pound did not drop, just like well, I mean, like the euro did, but indeed. I'm gonna update each and every one of these charts, right? Now, dollar yen on this ending diagonal, which I'm explaining right here. In fact, indeed it dropped. Yeah, so as you can see this view right here. Now let's move on. What else we have here? The USD Swiss, I was explaining that the structure is not looking right. So I mean, doesn't have the right look. So basically, I don't know. I didn't know what to make of it, well, to be honest. But it was indeed showing downside. Now here's the interesting part: the DAX, Germany 30, right? At or around 13,150, 13,200. It did actually start a drop. So let me just stop this video and let's go on the previously posted articles, because that video was a backup. Actually, what I wanted to do is back it up with back this article up with that video. Yeah. So this article was posted on May 17th, in which I'm explaining basically that the possible reversal pattern would be occurring for the scenarios and all that. So that's basically the dollar index chart in which I'm explaining more rise before a possible reversal. Now XAU USD possible rise at 1285, 1280 right there. XAG USD more, let's say for instance, more downside before the upside, did not perform like that, but I'm gonna update it. Crude oil, this from 72.25 to basically possibly start a drop, and we all know what happened. And the euro, this is basically one of the disappointments, which actually went much lower, but it's fine. It's trading, right? So we roll the punches. Now on the pound US dollar, 1.330 right here, the pivot seems to be in focus, and I'm gonna go on it and basically see that the USD yen basically from on this ending diagonal indeed had the reaction. Yeah. USD Swiss a bit choppy right there. I was expecting a rise and then a possible fall. And the star of the day, DAX, which actually in this red box right here did have that reaction that I was actually looking for. So let's jump on the charts and see an update and see how this setups actually performed, right? Now, moving on to, let's say, for instance, gold 2 hour chart, we do see the reaction right here. And how I'm actually seeing things for this gold is basically to possibly, you know, have a zigzag right here, which would be great in an A, B, C right here in a free wave move for this 2 second wave correction, after which this could really start a bull run, right? Because if I go back on the dollar index, yeah, on the 2 hour chart, and the way I'm labeling this is basically this A wave, yeah, in an ABC, but the C leg actually starts with this piece. One, two, three, four, because I mean this is a sharp correction, wave four, due to the law of alternation. We have a complex structure right here in this two, and a sharp correction in this four. So law of alternation actually works nicely so far. So if I actually analyze this wave 5, it has a very rare structure, which is an expanding ending diagonal. But what's curious in it is that it also shows a possible ending diagonal or contracting ending diagonal with the overshoot, which is quite normal for it to have the overshoot within the expanding ending diagonal. So we have one, two, correct, basically ABC in three, which is normal. ABC moves in diagonals, right? Then the four AB and then one this piece. So what I can actually see is that the 94.90, which was my focus recently, and the 61.8. So we have 61.8 right here from 3 and 4. We have from 3 and 4 on this, we have 161.8. From A to B for the C, we have the extension 161.8. Not to mention that we have multiple fibs right here, and this zone is indeed a vibration level, right? And the pivot, I mean the resistance, which is 95.15 right here, is what I actually shown before on the daily, the 27th of October high, right? So we have a possible, technically speaking, we have a possible double top on the daily time frame. Yeah, we have a bearish divergence right here on this, on the daily. Now next, what I'm actually seeing is a, obviously we have one type of divergence right here and the confirmation. I mean, this volume's continued rising with the trend, but I would be expecting these volumes to start basically dropping for this divergence to actually have a double confirmation, right? So, in other words, clearly we have a even if I take a look at the candlesticks, right, we have a doji right there on the 2-hour chart, not to mention that on the um, even on the 1 hour, on 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes even, we do have reversal patterns to take a look at, right? And this view was indeed posted right here. So I would be expecting for the dollar index, I would be expecting an impulse right here, at least towards this trend line, right? So if it looks an impulse, if it has an impulsive manner, which would be a 5-wave sequence, that would be great because this week is pretty much important, very, very important. Many things would be released, such as, let's say, for instance, tomorrow the ADP non-farm employment change, and also, let's say, the GDP, right? And the non-farm payrolls, which by the way, I will be hosting a live webinar on it. So this video acts like a preparation, let's say, for the NFP, in which I am actually explaining right now a possible outcome. Now, if this would be if this would turn out to be true, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an expanding ending diagonal, and of course this, sorry, okay, and this ending diagonal right here would overshoot to come back inside and deliver that 5-wave sequence for the first wave. Yeah. Now, prior to the NFP, for instance, if a corrective piece like this would occur, that would possibly confirm a wave 2. So this is what I would be looking for on the NFP, during the NFP live, when I will be hosting the webinar. Now, also, this could be head and shoulders formation right there, right? So possibly confirming a bearish third wave. So until then, all I can do is to take a look at the charts and monitor them and basically make some updates. But so far, so good. Now, moving on and continuing obviously with gold. Yeah. So what I would expect from gold, the way I'm seeing gold is basically holding, possibly holding at 1285. If it doesn't and it really starts, I mean, continues with the last leg, although I don't really see what other last leg it could do, but I will actually see. Now, the point is that even the 100% right here, which is exactly, I mean, which is 1272, yeah, or 1270, whatever this pivot right here, if it would be going there, although I don't really see it going there, but there is a possibility for this to rise from there directly. But the way I'm labeling it so far is as a 1, 2, minute blue, and then minuet 1, 2, and then the third wave for the start and confirmation of a bullish run. So as you can see, gold did react on that, and it is indeed um, it switched a little bit towards the bullish side. Silver is a different story. Silver um, seems to want to possibly tag the 61.8, and hence the reason why I put this blue green box right there. Yeah, so it's either gonna be 61.8 or 100% of this minor scales. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so the way I'm labeling this is in a corrective pattern. Yeah. And what I would be seeing is a reaction right here and a bullish divergence, while these volumes would be dropping right there for the rise. Pretty simple, but seems to silver seems to be waiting for something, and it's quite tricky. However, I would be seeing this C leg as the last possible piece before the rise, right? So we'll keep on looking at it. Now, crude oil, WTI, impressive. Very, very impressive. It actually worked out. Yeah. Um, the video and the explanation and the setups and the analysis which I've done on this actually worked out. So silver dropped from 72.25 and it's now 67.27. It was actually 66. So what I would be expecting right now, we can actually see that it's at the bottom of the lower trend line of the um, rising channel. So it would be normal for this thing to react a little bit on a possible bearish flag, right? Something like sorry, something like this, or something more complex in a corrective piece um, for possible either B wave or a two wave. So this would be the one, this would be the two. However, this can actually be a three, four, and then it breaks for the fifth leg, and then the bigger correction actually would occur, or an A or a B. So the important thing is that analysis was indeed, I mean, it worked out. So I'm cool with it. I'm just gonna move on. Now, Euro USD seems to be um, it went lower than the expected levels. Yeah. So normally I would expect a 100% right now, or even this. So the way I'm labeling this last fall is in an ending diagonal with an ABC in each. I mean with a zigzag in each swing. One, two, three. I would be expecting a correction right here, and then possibly a last move down before the possible reversal, and I will actually explain why, because these volumes have continuity, and normally I would be looking for a bullish divergence on this um, end of degrees where they actually um, meet up, right? Same thing with the pound dollar, and I would the pound dollar, I'm labeling it directly from now in a contracting ending diagonal. So unlike the euro in a channeling wise, this is um, pretty much looking like it's performing in within a ending diagonal, a contracting one. So this is exactly like the arrow said, point out, would be expecting a bullish divergence right here before a possible rise. And moving on to USD yen, right? So at those levels, indeed, it reacted. So what I would be expecting right here is a second wave correction or a B wave for possibly more downside. We'll be waiting, we'll be watching. The important thing is that it worked out so far. USD Swiss, a bit complicated, I would say. So again, I don't know if it's gonna perform that last move on the upside. I'm starting to think that it could be starting already. So we'll be looking at me. I'm just going to leave this one alone for now because the structure doesn't have the right look. DAX. DAX indeed from 13,200 right there on the actual pivot. This actually worked and it dropped amazingly nice, right? So the way I'm labeling this is as a 1, 2 minor scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would be expecting this to be the 3 within, I mean the minute 3, yeah? And then the correction before the fifth leg to finalize this 3. So we'll be watching it and waiting. Now, however, if it's not like that, and this is indeed an A, B, and then the C, this would be the end of the C, yeah, on this 5-wave sequence within the C. So right after the, I mean, during this, at these levels, you can actually see that there's some vibration levels right there. So it could have a reaction, depends on how big the reaction is. It could have this type of structure before more downside. But again, so far so good. The analysis actually worked out nicely, right? So just like a, let me say, just say as a recap, I mean, as a summary, um, I'm actually bearish right now, personally speaking. And again, everything that I've shown you so far is to be treated as a simple market commentary. This is not an investment advice. Thank you for understanding. Now, the point is that what I'm trying to explain to you today is that I am still inclining towards a bearish outcome for the US dollar, a bullish run for the Euro USD and metals, for pound dollar as well, continuation basically for USD yen and USD Swiss, more downside for the DAX, right? So again, it's looks pretty good. Yeah. Now, now NFP is actually coming, guys. So as I said, I'm gonna be hosting a live webinar. So feel free to join on the NFP. You know my plans. Yeah, I already explained to you what I would like to actually see. So hope you'll be able to join me live. I will be making some other updates and of course some other type of projections, possible moves, etc. Right? And I will be answering some questions. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. As I like to say to all my traders, until next time, stay in the green and many pips ahead.